Hi, year 8. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're coping okay with lockdown. We're really missing having you in school and hoping everyone's doing all right. So, what I want to do, I'm getting a few questions on this week's work. So, what I want to start doing is hopefully next week we'll start being able to get some interactive lessons going. But in the meantime, and sort of in addition to that, what I'd like to do is post some videos on YouTube that will hopefully be able to give some explanation to some questions you have. So I've had some questions about this task 332 where we need to share a ratio amongst a group. So it could be that in this case we've got some boys and girls in a class, we need to work out how many, or it might be that some money is being shared among two people in a ratio. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through two methods. One method is the method that Mr. Hegarty went through in his video. Another method is a method that I've always found quite useful. So hopefully one of those methods might help for you, and the other one, you can take it or leave it, but as long as one of them hits home, then hopefully we can do that. So I'll go through a couple of examples and then I'll send this round to everyone. So in this example, we've got the ratio of boys to girls in the class is 5:3. There are 32 students in the class. How many students are boys? So what I'm going to call Mr. Hegarty's method, this is almost kind of the parts method. So this is the parts method. So what he's done, he drew a picture. So if in this question I've got boys to girls, I'll put boys and girls, and he said draw a draw a picture in the video. Okay, we can draw a picture if that helps you. You don't have to. So if the ratio of boys to girls is 5:3, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boys to every 1, 2, 3 girls. Okay. Now in total, you can see that this is 8 parts. So we've got 8 parts here. Now, what Mr. Hegarty is saying is that we've got 8 parts, and those 8 parts make up 32 students. So if I've got 32 students equals 8 parts, what I can do is actually then work out what each one part represents. So if the 8 parts in total make up 32 students, one part is going to be 32 divided by 8, which is going to give me 4. So I'm going to have 4 students for each one part. So in my picture I can draw in 4, 4, 4, 4 and 4, and then 4, 4 and 4. So if my question is asking me how many students are boys, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots, so 5 parts, which are 4 students. So I can do 5 times by 4, and I'm going to have 20 boys. Okay. Now, my method, I don't really have a name for this method. Let's call it the line method. So the way I've always liked to look at ratios is that we can actually just make, as long as we're doing the same thing to every part of our ratio, we can keep every line the same. So if I have a ratio of 5:3, I'm going to name each line. I'm going to name this one boys, and I'm going to name this one girls. Okay. So if I've got 5 boys and 3 girls, I can also make myself a little totals column here. Okay. So in this row, I've got 5 boys, 3 girls, and then I've got 8. So together, the 5 boys and 3 girls make 8. Okay. So if I had 8 students, 5 of them would be boys and 3 of them would be girls. However, I actually want to work out 32 students. So what I'm going to do, my total amount of students I actually have is 32. So what I can do, just like when I have this row, just like in lots of times in maths when we're actually using kind of lines like this, if I do the same to each thing, then I can multiply. So I'm going to multiply here, just work out what I need to do to get 8 to 32. So to get from 8 to 32, I'm going to times that by 4. So the relationship between this line and this line, I've actually times this line by 4 to get to 32. And because I've done that to this section, because I've had 8 here and I've times 4 to get to 32, I can times each of these by 4 as well. So 5 times by 4 will give me 20, and 3 times by 4 will give me 12. So now I've got the ratio of 20 to 12, and the total of those 12 is 32. So now I've got in the total 32 students, I've got 20 boys and 12 girls, so I've got 20 boys. Okay, so just a slightly alternative method This has always worked for me and will be quite useful when we get more complicated ratios. This method is absolutely fine if this helped you work it out with Mr. Hegarty's video. Okay, that's the first question. Let's have a look at a very similar question here. So £49 is shared in a ratio 3 to 3 to 1. How much money does each person get? Okay, so let's use the parts method. So parts method, I've got, let's say person A, B and C. The first person gets 3. The second person gets 3. And the last person gets 1. How much money does each person get? So let's look at how many parts we've got all together there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. So we've got 7 parts. Now, if we've got £49, £49 is 7 parts. So we'll say 7 parts. We need to work out how much one part is. Well, if 7 parts is 49, we can divide 7 by 7 to get 1. 49, divide that by 7. And one part represents £7. Okay, so each person is going to get a certain amount of parts, which each represents £7. Therefore, if I want to know how much each person gets, I'm going to do 3 times 7, 3 times 7, and then 3 times 1 to make £21, £21, and £7 for person A, B, and C. Okay. So again, that's my parts method where we've basically worked out how many parts we've got in the ratio. That's effectively, we've added the 3 numbers up in the ratio. That's how many parts we've got. We've divided the total, 49, by that many parts. And then each of my parts is then, in this case, £7. If I've got 3 of them, then it's 7 add 7 add 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, let's try the line method. For my preferred method, again, doesn't really matter which one you do. In this case, I've got 3, 3, and 1 as my ratio. Let's call this person A, person B, and person C. What I'm just going to do is put in a T column, so my total column. I've got 3, 3, and 1. Add those together, I get 7. So my total there is 7. If I wanted to get to £49, so £49 is my total amount of money. My total amount of money is 49. All I need to do is work out what I need to do to get from this line to this line. Because I've got 2 in the same column here, I can see that I did 7 times 7 gets me to 49. Using those multiplication facts I know, times that by 7 to get 49. Therefore, I'm going to do times 7 there. 3 times 7 will be 21. 3 times 7 will be 21. And 1 times 7 will be 7. If you want to check, you just add all of these up, make sure that they equal the total, and they do. So now I know that person A has £21, B has £21, and C has £7. Okay, so that's just a slightly different method that I prefer. Again, I've been doing it a while, so this feels quite easy to me. If this feels a bit more complicated, go back to this method where you draw each part out, you add up all of those parts, and then what you've got to do is think, okay, if I've got 7 parts, that equals £49. What does one part actually represent? So you just divide the 49 by 7, that gives you one part, and you can draw that into your picture and it becomes quite helpful. Okay, I hope this helped. Please, if you have any more questions about any of the videos, any of the worksheets that I set at any point, please just send them in on an email, or once we're set up on Teams, you can write on Teams and I can do this sort of video and hopefully just give sort of some explanations. All right, hope that helps.